Of course you do.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. I want to tell you about an organization that Robin and I fell in love with. And then we're going to meet a young lady who also obviously has fallen in love with this same organization. If you go to Robin's Facebook page and you go to my Facebook page right now, you'll see that we have turned the profile picture and that big picture on top, whatever they call the thing, we've turned it yellow. Mm-hmm. We've done that as part of a campaign to help the Children's Craniofacial Association. We've spoken to some folks from there. They're headquartered in Dallas, Texas, and we fell in love with them. I want to tell you a real quick story. We met one time the lady who played the part of Ellie Mae Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yes.
Her name is Donna Douglas. We met her way after that show was no longer on the air. But she told us an amazing story, and I don't know if she tells everybody, but I felt kind of cool to be privy to this. She said she had a dream one time, and in the dream she went to heaven and hell, I think it was. And now I'm having a hard time remembering.
Yeah.
But she went to hell, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening, Donna Douglas, I'm sorry I got it messed up, but you'll get the point. So she goes to hell in her dream, and everybody is sitting at a table eating. And the problem is they all have spoons that are 3 feet long. So the handle is 3 feet away from the spoon part, and they can't eat. They put the spoon in their bowl, and they can't get it to their mouth because their arms are on 3 feet long, and they can't reach their own mouth. Now, of course, logically, you would, if that really happened, you'd hold the spoon closer to the spoon part. But anyway, so then she goes to heaven in the dream. And the same thing, everybody's sitting at a table, and everybody has a spoon that's 3 feet long, but there's no problem. Not because they're grabbing the spoon closer to the spoon part, but because they're feeding each other. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. I just love that. That's heaven. Heaven is helping each other. The Children's Craniofacial Association is people helping people, and it's simple as that. And if you're familiar with the movie Mask with Cher, there's a young man in the movie who is afflicted with some kind of a syndrome that is one of the many syndromes that the Children's Craniofacial Association helps out with. The organization has been one that Robin and I have, in our humble ways, tried to help. And we're just two of many people who try to help out this organization. And one lady who is trying to help out is here in Florida, down in the Orlando area. Her name is Casey Deakins. And we found out about Casey yesterday because there's this September is, what are they calling it? Craniofacial Acceptance Month, I think is what they're calling it. Uh-huh. And so there's a couple of picnics, and there's one, I think hers is a luau, if I understand this right, that Casey is going to tell us about. And so something we can show up at in Orlando on September 14th at Moss Park. And let's just find out about this and Casey's involvement with the Children's Craniofacial Association, and say good morning. Good morning, Casey.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am doing good. How are you guys?
I'm all right. Are you in Orlando?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you're a student at the University of Central Florida?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Well, what are you studying to be?
I am a senior in their public administration program.
All right. How did you become involved with the Children's Craniofacial Association?
When I was younger, I was about... my mom found out about Children's Craniofacial through a friend. And we went to our first retreat in 1994. I was about 7 years old. So I've been with CCA pretty much my entire life.
So did you go to one of their events?
Yes, I did. I went every summer in June. They host a retreat for all the families to come in. And this is just a weekend where the kids can be kids and see kids that look like them and know that they're not alone. And the parents have a time to socialize with other parents and lean on each other and seek advice and that sort of thing.
For those who don't know what the condition is, if you go to their website, ccakids.org, there's a tab that has syndromes, and it has a list of the different syndromes. I don't know enough about it to be able to tell anybody anything other than the children don't look normal. And boy, I hate that word. I wish I didn't even say it just now. But I mean, they look like they were born maybe with their head too big, or with their eyes too far apart, or with a cleft lip and things like that. And I don't know how to even describe it without sounding like I'm being nasty, and I don't mean to be. I love your organization, by the way, and support it. So how do you describe to people what the syndromes are?
Well, I have Apert syndrome, which is a genetic condition. I like to say I'm differently abled, because in a sense, we're all different. We all have some kind of difference.
Right.
Mine just happens to show. Because what happened was, with Apert syndrome, I was born with my hands fused and my toes fused. And then when I was a baby, about 1 year old, my fingers are separated, so now I have functional digits. But my feet are still fused. So I like to explain it where we may have these differences, but we're still normal in a sense.
Still human, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're so beautiful. I don't know what you look like, but I'm just listening to you, and I can hear it. So Apert is what you're, and I looked it up on the site here under syndrome. So yours is called Apert, APERT?
Yes, sir.
So your fingers are working okay now, and was it surgery that separated them?
Yes.
Oh, okay. One of the things also, and I want to make sure we get to the luau and the picnic, because that's the fun part of this, but I wanted to tell you something that Robin and I observed. In the face of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge thing, that seems to be very successful, and that's a wonderful thing, we looked at the Children's Craniofacial Association. We thought, well, maybe you guys could use a little help with exposure. Maybe more people need to know about it, because people will step up to the plate and help out if they know about a cause. Am I on target with that? Is that a true statement?
That is true. A lot of what I encounter when I'm talking to people about children's craniofacial is they look at me and they go, "What's that? What is children's craniofacial?"
Right.
Because we're just not out there. And like a lot of families, I'm amazed at even the families that I encounter sometimes that have children and adults with craniofacial conditions. They haven't heard of CCA. It's beginning to grow now because of Facebook and Twitter, but before Facebook got popular, it was basically word of mouth.
Yeah, and as broadcasters, we can only do so much, and you're right, with the new social media, it's, oh my goodness, the possibilities are there. So there are really two groups of people we want to reach. We want to reach the people who can help financially, and I'm going to ask you if you can help us out with that in just a little bit, but also the people who have children who have the syndromes associated with craniofacial. Because if, like you say, two reasons: A, they could probably get help, and B, the children can socialize with other children and not feel so
out of place.
Yeah. Are we on target with that?
Yes, definitely.
And that's part of what the picnic is about, right?
Yes, that is. I'm basically reaching out to families in the Central Florida area, giving them a chance to say, come join us, have some fun, hang out with us, talk to the other families, and know that you're not alone in this journey.
We're coming up on a break, and I want to make sure that after the break we give out the information for the picnic. And if you know somebody out there who has a child who might benefit from an association with the Children's Craniofacial Association, write down every information. Plus, we're recording this interview. You'll be able to get it on. Speaking of the power of the social internet, whatever we call it, social sites. You'll be able to share this with everybody. And when we come back, we'll continue our conversation. Casey Deakins, it's a joy to get to know you. I hope I get to meet you at the picnic. My plan is to go down there and see you and say hi to you.
That would be awesome.
So-
We'd love to have you.
So just hang on. Don't go away because I want to keep talking about this. We've got a weather and a couple of commercials. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a shower and thunderstorm around, high 86 to 90. Partly cloudy tonight. There can be a shower along the coast, low 71 to 75. Tomorrow, times of clouds and sun with that shower or thunderstorm in the area at any time, high 88 to 92. For Saturday, times of clouds and sun with a shower and thunderstorm around, high 87 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Who would you feed if you had 50 chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A? WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall have teamed up to reward one organization with 50 chicken sandwiches as a way of saying thanks for the great work that organization is doing in our community. And we need your help. See, there are so many great people doing great things that we need nominations. You can nominate your own organization or any organization you choose. Simply send an email to WOCA@WOCA.com. And in 350 words or less, tell us why the organization you are nominating should receive 50 free chicken sandwiches from WOCA and Chick-fil-A at the Paddock Mall. We'll review your nominations and then select one deserving organization each month. We'll announce the winner and even read the winning entry on the air. Make sure to include the contact name and phone number of the organization that you are nominating. And thanks from your friends at WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go
When you
cookie
want something
eating
special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. That's right. The Great American Cookie Company in the Paddock Mall, Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. You might notice that I said fun and delicious more than once. That's because I can't say it enough. The next time you're at the mall, be sure and stop by or call 352-237-2557 to place your order.
Cookies, cookies,
Yum.
cookies, cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
The Great American Cookie Company.
All right, 13 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for waiting through the break. Casey Deakins is on the phone with us down in Orlando. We're talking about something that is passionate for her, the Children's Craniofacial Association. We find it something we're passionate about as well. In fact, if you go to the Robin and the Giant.com site that Robin and I have had for years, as well as the new one we have called My Uncle's Friends, you'll see that we have listed as our friends, we have the Children's Craniofacial Association, with the hopes that people will, click on it and learn a little bit about it. There's a luau picnic we're going to learn about happening in Orlando. I encourage you to show up. This is a great way to introduce yourself to this organization for two reasons. A, to help out financially. B, to help spread the word. And, maybe three reasons. And C, to introduce somebody who maybe would benefit simply by a child, just getting to know other children. Mm-hmm. The syndromes include Apert syndrome, which Casey said is, in her case, Carpenter syndrome, cleft lip, craniosynostosis. I'm going to have a hard time with the pronunciations here, Casey. Cruzon syndrome, facial cleft, facial palsy, fibrous dysplasia, frontonasal dysplasia, hemangioma. I'm not even going to try to read all these, but there's just a whole list of these. If you know a child, Miller syndrome, I can read that one. Pierre-Robin sequence, Treacher-Collins syndrome. So I don't know what all of these are. However, if you have a child that's been diagnosed with any of these conditions and you never knew about the Children's Craniofacial Association, that's why we do these interviews now and then. And today it's with Casey. So tell me about the luau. What's planned?
Okay, so the luau is going to be on September 14th. We are hosting it again at Moss Park, which is this beautiful state park near the Orlando International Airport. We're going to have a pavilion there. We'll have games. We're going to have food. And we're going to have a bunch of families. And it's just going to be a fun afternoon.
Now, I'm pretty good with tuna noodle salad. Could you use a bowl of tuna noodle salad?
Sure.
Yeah?
Nice.
I'll bring it down to you, and then you can share it with it. I'll have to make a double bowl.
Yeah.
Because it usually feeds only about 10.
Yeah. It's so good. It's the best ever.
And so I would encourage people to go there. Now, is there a website for the luau that you're doing, or do they just go to ccakids.org?
They can go to ccakids.org. There is information up there about the picnic. There's also a page on Facebook for the luau. It's called the CCA Awareness Luau.
Okay, let me find that one on here. And where do you see CCA in the next 10 years? Do you consider yourself like, are you going to be a part of this, like in some, like, will I see your name on the back of the newsletter that I got?
Oh, yes. So I intend to stay in CCA for a very, very long time. I was actually teasing the staff the other day, saying that someday I'm going to be bringing CCA grandkids to the retreats in the future.
Yeah, I bet you do.
When you were 7 years old and then you were first able to go down to see other children like yourself, were you kind of leery about that, or how did that go for the meet and greet?
The story that I've heard is that one day we were at the retreat, and we were in the elevator with a couple of other families, and I saw a girl that looked just like me, and I turned to my mother and I said, "Mom, look, she looks like me."
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
And were you excited by that?
Oh, yes. I was very excited because I saw this girl, and she looked just like me, and I felt at home because I wasn't the only one that looked like me.
Oh, wow.
And are you one of the group counselors when you go to this retreat every summer to help the younger children or the children in general come into and they experience this for the first time?
Oh, yeah, I would say I'm a counselor. I look at myself as auntie, as a role model for these younger kids, someone for the parents to talk to since I've gone through the journey. Someone for little kids to look up to and say, you know, she can do this. I can do it.
That's awesome. Tell me the website again. I must have messed up on it. Where would I find the one just for the luau?
It's on Facebook. We have a Facebook event page.
Facebook. Okay. That's how I made my mistake. Have you met Cher? It's kind of a stupid question, but have you?
Yes, I've met Cher many times. She is a wonderful lady. She's very down to earth.
I bet she is, yeah. I'm guessing that movie Mask must have changed her life. I mean, consider the fact that she is listed on the CCA Craniofacial Association, what do you call this, a newsletter, as the honorary her name is at the top of the list. And I mean, you know, sometimes it's weird how being a celebrity actually gives you an opportunity to simply use your celebrity to make awareness about something. And that's kind of what she has allowed to happen with this one.
Yes, she has. She's done a lot of amazing work with us.
When you have the retreats, do the parents go to a separate section to have their own support groups and things, and then the children interact with each other, or is it entirely family the whole time?
Well, what CCA has started doing in the past couple of years is the retreat runs from Thursday to Sunday. Thursday is usually what they call the symposium, which they have different information sessions for adults and kids of varying age groups, and then usually the rest of the weekend is spent with everybody just having fun with each other, hanging out.
I just looked up Moss Park. I'm trying to tell the listeners, I want to tell the listeners where it is in Orlando. Moss Park is, let's see, right off of Highway 417, which is also Central Florida Greenway.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay, so right off of that, and I guess you just, Google Moss Park, and you'll be able to find it. It's not exactly downtown. That's a state park, isn't it?
I think it's run by the county.
Oh, okay. But pets are allowed, so you can bring your animals. The one thing that strikes Robin and I whenever we read the newsletter, for example, you know what? It is an amazing thing, and just to go back to my Donna Douglas story. Look at this. The drawing for the 4th annual raffle held in memory of Rick Dornier. Did you know Rick? He must have been a little boy, huh?
He was a little boy. I've heard about his family. I just never got the honor of meeting them. And he's no longer with us, right? He died? No. He passed away a couple of years ago. Okay. So there's a raffle that they hold to with this Grow With Me play table. It's Thomas the Train. Is that what you call it, Robin?
Yes.
Thomas the Train. And they raised $1,180 from it, and the man who won it gave it back. He wanted them to use it again for another raffle. And isn't that exactly what we're talking about here? Is people helping other people in any way that they can?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the money, what it's used for when we donate money to
The children's craniofacial?
There's a variety of pathways that it goes down. Some of it will go to help patients, help with costs, like hospital costs, that kind of thing. Some of it goes to transportation, because a lot of children go to different areas of the country to seek medical help. Like, there's a big craniofacial center in Dallas. There's one in Seattle, in Boston. Some of it goes to help with retreat scholarships, which allows families who may not otherwise be able to afford it to come to the retreat.
Yeah. There was it's in some cases when I look at the photos of the children with the different circumstances, I think sometimes they physically have issues, like being able to eat, being able to talk, being able to see. It looks like the craniofacial syndrome sometimes affects more than just looks.
Yes, it does.
Well, in your case, it did. You're now able to, I'm assuming, type and write, but that wouldn't have been possible before. Am I right?
No, not. If my parents hadn't opted to have my fingers separated, I would have a difficult time trying to write.
Wow. But everything's okay now?
Oh, yes.
Did you have to go through a lot of therapy with your hands in order to get them where they need to be?
I did. That's one thing I remember from my childhood, is having to go through occupational therapy.
Your life could have taken a different turn if you wouldn't have had the support of your folks and also your own self, your own courage to move forward with your life to really achieve whatever goals it is that you have in your heart.
Yeah. My family is everything. They've been unbelievably supportive through all this, and CCA has become like my second family. And I kind of nicknamed the retreats my cranial family reunion, because that's what it's become.
Oh, I love that.
You know what's amazing to me, Casey, is that Robin and I, we don't call you guys very often, and I called yesterday to see if we could get somebody to come on to talk about the picnic that you're doing. Well, I really didn't know you were doing one, to be honest. I knew there was a picnic, and it looked like there was an offer to have anybody put on a picnic if they wanted to. So I called, and I guess I spoke to, was it Annie? Yeah, Annie. And she knew who I was. I couldn't believe it. It's like, how do you know who I am? I mean, I'm just a small-time radio guy, and yet you guys remember me. So it's always so sweet. In the past, it was Charlene Smith who was on. That's
yes.
right? Yeah, that's the name.
In your days of going into a public service with marketing and awareness like that, what kind of aspirations do you have for yourself? Do you have creating your own company?
No, I'm actually working on, along with my degree in public administration, I'm working on getting a certificate in nonprofit management, because I would love to be able to work with a nonprofit, even Children's Craniofacial, because I love the work that nonprofits do.
And that's really a huge involvement on not just on your part, but everybody else that's involved with nonprofits. It is very, very difficult trying to get the word out.
Yes, it is.
Well, I hope our little efforts have made a difference. Robin and I are putting together a video to help with that also, and we'll share it with you and everybody else over at CCA. And we're getting the whole town in on this one, by the way. We got the mayor in on it already.
Yeah.
So once you get the mayor in on something, you know you're going to be successful.
That's right.
But anyway, thank you for what you're doing. For the listeners, if you want to know more about the Children's Craniofacial Association, go to their website, which is cca.org, ccakids.org. Robin made it easy, actually. Or is it .com? Is it .com, Casey, or is it both?
It can be both.
It can be either. Okay. And I would encourage you, we're going down. I'm bringing my tuna noodle salad. You like tuna noodle salad, right?
I have honestly never had it before, but I'm more than willing to try it.
See that?
Well, do you like tuna?
She's going to love it.
I haven't had tuna in a while. I'll eat it raw. I like it in sushi.
Oh. Well, I don't know if this is raw. This is from a can. I have no idea.
You're going to love Larry's. He's making
You're going to like it, Casey. So we're going to come down. We're going to see you, shake your hand, and get to meet you on September 14th, and we're looking forward to that, okay?
We would love to have you.
And what time does it start?
It starts at 2 p.m.
Okay, excellent.
All right. We'll make sure we post more things on our Facebook pages as well. Casey, it's such a delight to be able to chat with you. Please do well and come back another day, okay?
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you on the 14th.
Yes, sir.
This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. A NATO summit getting underway in the face of growing challenges.
Ukraine's president is here. He's already met with Western leaders, including President Obama. The NATO leaders have two big problems to discuss in the next couple of days. What to do about Russia, and also what to do about Islamic